The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, a classic. You've probably read it or seen it. It is a timeless story about a sad, lonely monster who tried to wreck everyone's holidays. The Grinch is a selfish, cold creature with a small heart who lived alone. He sneered at all the normal people for leading happy, loving, fulfilled lives because he did not have one himself. The Grinch wants to control the happy people and make their lives miserable. Does this remind you of anyone?
Science that says you must test, trace, treat, you must wear your mask, you must have sanitation.
The modern-day Grinch in our society are the cold, bitter-hearted Democrat politicians who, like the Grinch, sit above us and sneer at our little lives. We don't have much. None of us live on top of a mountainside or can afford to go to the French Laundry. Oui. But we do have our families and our hearth, our home, and our right to celebrate the holidays as we damn well please. We normal little people have our faith and people who love us, and we are happy. And that makes the sad, soulless, lib Grinches who wish to control us very angry. Look at these people. Have you ever seen a larger group of unlovable tyrants? Much like the Grinch, these people enjoy sneaking into our lives to steal what makes us happy. Does providing for your family make you happy? No, you can't do that, not in a Grinch state. The basic right of human dignity in work is now illegal. Ask Carl Mankey, a 77-year-old barber in Michigan, who had the full weight of that state brought down upon him for cutting hair. Mankey said, "I've been cutting hair my entire life. The government has no right to stop me," and he's right. But the Grinch in that state went on to revoke his barber's license and call Mankey an immediate danger to the health and lives of individuals of this state. That's a direct quote from the Michigan Health Department. They declared his business a nuisance, unsanitary, and may potentially cause illness. 77-year-old barber. Travesty. Want to go to a restaurant? Nope, those are closed too. Like many restaurants in blue states, the Pineapple Grill in Los Angeles tried to play by the rules. They built stupid outdoor socially distanced dining areas at great expense. They were shut down anyway. But the Hollywood studio right next door, that remained open. Listen to the pain in the voice of this woman, the owner of the Pineapple Grill, as she tells her story.
I'm losing everything. Everything I own is being taken away from me. And they set up a movie company right next to my outdoor patio, which is right over here. And people wonder why I'm protesting and why I have had enough. They have not given us money and they have shut us down.
Want to go get a drink? Mac's Public House, a beloved bar in Long Island, is under tyrant Grinch laws now in the city of New York. Their teeny bar was closed. Their owner was arrested. What was his crime? Trying to feed his family. The generations of hard work that built Mac's has now been criminalized by the state. Want to go to the gym? Perhaps better yourself, live a healthy life? No. You can't do that. Attila's Gym in New Jersey famously defied orders to close and has now been hit with $1.2 million in fines, 60 different citations from the state of New Jersey. The owners have been arrested for breaking coronavirus orders. One of the owners of this gym will soon join us, maybe from jail. Do you want to provide for your children? Well, of course, you can't educate them. In most blue states, most schools are closed and may stay that way for years. This image of a child suffering while distance learning went viral this summer. Millions of parents feel this image. But the rules of these Grinches are causing more than just frustration in our children. This week, Jay Smith, a high school sophomore in the state of Maine, died in the prime of his life. Jay Smith was killed not by the virus, which has a 99% survivability for someone in his demographic. Jay was killed by the hysterical fear of the virus and the consequences of that fear. Jay committed suicide. His suicide note detailed his struggles being isolated, depressed, and locked in the house. I quote there. It's tragedy. The cure has become worse. than the disease. Every decent parent on this planet has one universal thing in common. You wish to protect your children. Eliz Orban boarded a United flight this week with her 2-year-old. Her and her husband were wearing masks. Her 2-year-old was not. Why? Because she's a 2-year-old. Do you have children? Have you ever been around a child? Sometimes they don't do as they're told. United Airlines kicked this family off the flight because their 2-year-old did not comply with mask law. What kind of a country have we become? Listen to this horrified mother.
We just got kicked off the flight because our 2-year-old would not put on a mask.
We gotta be getting away from her, sir. Why? We're over here holding this mask on her face. I'm sorry, sir. I did make it up to you. And I took that opportunity and I ran with it. You see this? I'm literally covering her face. I gotta keep it on.
Shame on them. The real virus is the tyranny that we have allowed in our society and the low IQ, mediocre Grinches who practice this tyranny. So you can't work, you can't eat, you can't drink, you can't exercise, you can't protect your own children. The Grinches have stolen all of this from you. And during the holidays, how Grinchy. More than that, the CDC says no singing, no loud music, no alcohol this Christmas. You can't hug your loved ones, they say. Spoken like people who are loved by absolutely no one. So do the Grinches sacrifice too? Just like the rest of us? Of course not. Of course not. They laugh at all of us and collect a taxpayer-funded salary while they do it. Remember, the Grinch is a liar. He has no shame. When caught red-handed stealing, he lies. Our Grinch governors are also liars. California Governor Gavin Newsom said to not gather in large groups outside of your house. And then he was photographed gathering in a large group outside of his house, a very fancy restaurant. The very next night, San Francisco Mayor London Breed went out to the same restaurant, very fancy, in violation of orders that have decimated businesses in her city of San Francisco. Mayor of Austin, Texas, Steve Adler, filmed a video urging people to stay home for the holidays. Meanwhile, he was traveling on a private plane to Mexico, very exotic. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot has threatened to shut down businesses and jail people who do not obey her stay-at-home orders. Meanwhile, she was in the streets celebrating Joe Biden's election victory by screaming into a microphone directly into people's faces in a massive crowd, in pure and hilarious violation of her own orders. LA County Supervisor Sheila Kuhl visited a restaurant hours after voting to ban outdoor dining. Denver Mayor Michael Hancock urged residents to avoid Thanksgiving travel, and then he flew cross-country to see his family. Is what's important. His plans are what's important. They're more important than your plans. Speaker Nancy Pelosi, of course, made her infamous maskless salon trip in San Francisco. The list goes on and on and on. No shortage of Grinches in this country. Much like the Grinch perversely wearing the Santa outfit as he stole presents instead of delivering them, our governors are insultingly, perversely stealing from us during the holidays and doing nothing for us. Why do we elect these people? But don't expect our press to call them on it. Time magazine could have given Person of the Year to frontline doctors and medical workers who risked their lives. But instead they gave it to Joe Biden, a man who spent the pandemic locked in his basement as the country burned. The Grinchiest move of all. The real motivation for the Grinch is not safety, it's control. Control over you, over how you choose to celebrate the birth of Christ, your holidays. Unfortunately, for the Grinches, we normal people have something that they will never, ever understand. Ultimately, it was the little people and their happiness that made the Grinch so furious, our indifference to their tyranny. Even after all the toys and decorations were stolen, the lockdowns were implemented, the spirit of Christmas cheer was still there. We are still Americans, happy, God-fearing people, living happy lives. That is what they hate the most about us. We don't care about them.